Talk with Mo. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that. Also check me out on the Lou and Mo podcast. It's me and my partner. Like, subscribe, share, and comment on that. Also, been getting a lot of love, so I want to keep that going. It means I want to put out, better content, more content, to get to the people. Also, see lifestyle apparel, bet on yourself. The one in the back is life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. That's the truth, right? Life ain't a sprint, man. So don't be in a rush to get to your goals and dreams. Just work hard and keep moving forward. Eventually, you will get to them. And I'm gonna start off every video because I want people to see where my head is at, and that way they can kind of get a gauge on what I'm gonna talk about most of the time. I read a book a while back. I still go back and forth through it to listen to it. Psychology of Success. It said the 6 characteristics of people are lazy, greedy, ambitious, vain, ignorant, and selfish. Which, when I look at any situation or anything that's going on, I kind of gauge off of that we're all those people, right? Which really meaning that we're all flawed, where nobody's perfect, and we're all gonna have, some are gonna be flawed in certain spots more than they are in others, and that's just the way it is. So nobody's perfect. I don't care if the richest man in the world, or the a king of somewhere. You're a flawed person. That's just where we were born. But I wanted to get into about as far as financial, the wealth gap. People talk about inequalities and all this stuff. And the more I look into it and everything, I think a lot of it is personal choices, right? We make these choices, and then we got to deal with the consequences. And we have freedom, so we can make these choices. We can make a lot of bad choices. We can make a lot of good choices. But the thing is, I think people are not doing. They're not learning from their choices, right? They're not learning from them, and they're not really moving forward from them. They learn. They make the mistakes. They make they make mistakes like they're supposed to. They're humans, and then they don't learn from them to move forward, right? And then the things we're getting from social media and from people outside, and I think are a lot of falsehoods, right? The way to live and stuff. Like, if we go to social media, everybody's rich, right? Everybody got money. Nobody has money problems. They're never gonna talk about it on Facebook unless some tragedy happens. Then when a tragedy happens, then they gotta go fund me, right? Which, God forbid, something happens to me, I'm just letting you know, like, my family's not gonna do a GoFundMe, right? We're not gonna need it. Things are in place where that won't be needed. And that's just me making choices and working to be able to do that, right? And that's making choices that people that I probably wouldn't have known at one point, and then I met different people during growing up and reading and stuff, and I made these choices, and these choices are gonna not put me in that situation. So and I think a lot of it is that, right? We talk about, like, we'll talk about gaps between men and women. A lot of that is choices too, right? At the time we're in now, 2020, women can pretty much get in any position they want, and just like men can, right? They can get into anything. It's just women make choices to get into certain fields, and they do certain things just like men do, right? I think it's just a real simple thing. Like, you can't make people's, and this is just proven fact over time, that when people have the freedom to go choose these things, they don't choose them, right? Everybody in college gets to choose where they want to get into, right? And if you say a society, then you know what I mean. Like, again, we gotta teach people then that they have freedom to choose, right? More or less, not to teach them, there's a discrepancy or a gap somewhere. Just tell people to choose, right? And if people still choose that, then you can't be upset with the choices people make, right? If somebody doesn't want to get into the STEM fields, or doesn't want to get into the medical fields, it just is what it is, right? Like, that's what they're gonna choose. So I think some of that gets kind of thrown out of the way, just like with, people just make choices, and that's fine, right? But people got to deal with the consequences, right? If you make choices and you get a degree in something that's not really paying well, or something that doesn't have a lot of job openings, then that's the choice you made, all right? You got to live with that and move on. And I know we focus on college and everything, which is good. They say people with a college degree make more than people without them, right? from the statistics and the numbers. But I think, to be honest with you, I never looked into the numbers completely, but I think a lot of those people don't even, they might have a college degree, but they're not even in the field that they're in is not even where they got their degree in, right? So I know a lot of people like that. Actually, almost everybody I know is like, most people are like that, right? They got a degree in something, but that's not what they're in the field in now, right? Some people have been in, got degrees, and then went into sales and still making 100,000. Those people would still be considered college degree makes more money, right? Because they're not just going off the fields. Or they just got a little, business administration degree or business management degree, and then they in sales. So they make 200,000. Now they're like that. They put those fields together. Like, all right, college degrees makes more money. But I don't think it's that part. I don't think it's that. I think it's more of, people, um, when you get out and you get these degrees, the degrees sometimes really don't even mean anything at the end of the day. Unless you get a specific degree that's teaching you a specific thing, I think you know what I mean, that gets into the whole argument of, like, college, period. Right? Why we so pushing for college, and then we want, then we get mad that people have college loans, but we pushing for it. And I don't want to go in circles with it, but I think that's, again, personal choice. That's your choice, right? You're free to choose whatever you want to, do in college. Your grades are going to determine where you go to college, for the most part, and you're free to choose whatever you want to study, right? And I think that's part coming from home, is teaching people or teaching kids, young people, where to study and what they should go into, and not and then people make choices all the time. Like, so you could push your kid to be a doctor, and it ends up being a nurse or something. I mean, not a doctor, it ends up being in sales or something, medical sales or something, right? So I don't want to get that, deep into it, but these are, again, going back, these are all personal choices, right? People are gonna make these choices every day, and they got to deal with the consequences, right? For me, it was, mess around in school, barely go to school, right? Get my GED, and I went into a trade, which worked out well for me. It wasn't a bad thing. I learned a lot. I grew, and it worked out well. So, what I mean? I think we need to probably push more towards that, if anything. And, as far as, I don't want to get in, I was trying to just stick with, financially how people should live and everything. But as far as that goes, I'll probably get into something like that with the colleges and what, moving forward, people should do. But as far as making choices, like, you gotta live below your means, right? And I know people say that all the time, and people are out there, and they say they are, right? But I met with a lot of people, right? And a lot of people, even people making 100,000, 200,000, and they're not living below their means, right? They're living at their means, right? Like at the tip top of it. Some are living over it, right? And I know that's just not true for people making 100 and 200. I know it's for people making 50 and 40, right? They're living above it. And you got to live below it. And the thing is, you know what I mean? I think, for me, my opinion on it is, when you live below it, now you have extra money to be able to do things, right? You can take advantage of situations, investments, if you put yourself out there to be able to get involved in them. And then you can start businesses too, right? You have the opportunity to, right? Because you're not crushed. I mean, like, with the pressure down from all the bills and everything. A lot of people, this is the American dream, right? Go to college, get a house, have kids. So that's the American dream. People always say American dream, not that. People are not following the American dream, right? That's not the path people are going, right? People are, like, before college, having kids, going to college, struggling through college, getting out of college, barely getting a job, still want to get a house, right? And then struggling through that whole time. And then some of them is just, single people doing that, trying to do that same path. The path was not the same. The path is not built like that, right? We were going off of society at the time, and the society at the time was a husband, wife, building something together, having kids, and, white picket fence, right? We're going off that path, and then we thinking that it's going to be the same. It's not, right? America's made, and you can live if you're single too. I mean, you can live well too. But America's made for two incomes. Like, all these median household incomes and all that crap, it got to be two household incomes, right? With two people making even, minimum wage, right? But at that time, I think minimum wage is not for adults. Minimum wage is for like teenagers and kids and people in their 20s that are single and stuff. If you're an adult, you need to be pushing towards something or a career where you can, make more money, right? You can't be focusing on living off minimum wage. And even in Florida, they're gonna raise minimum wage to $15. Whole nother story. But all that's gonna do is raise the cost of everything. So the $15 is gonna end up still being worth the $8 or $9 minimum wage was, and we're just gonna go back in that circle again, and everything is gonna cost more money. But anyways, not to get too deep into that, but I'm saying it's for like two people, right? And then it's for one kid, two kids, right? When you got more than that, you kind of putting yourself in a situation, right? And I'm not saying anything about if something happens and have a kid, but you could take precautions and stuff to make that not happen is all I'm saying. So we can't really complain about it. Again, this goes back to what I said in the beginning. These are personal choices. You gotta deal with the consequences, right? It's not my fault that you didn't think about your choices and you made them, and then you have consequences with them. That has nothing to do with society or me. That's you, right? Or you know what I mean? Like, you can see it. People see examples all the time, and they're like, that's not gonna be me. I remember in high school, probably in middle school, two people that they would see older guys, older people, older girls, older ladies. That ain't gonna be me. That ain't gonna be me, right? And then you're in the same situation, right? You would talk shit about them, and then now you're probably in that similar situation because you didn't think about the choice. You just kept, doing stuff and not really thinking about it. And as you get older, I think you need to learn. Like, I see a lot of these people with these people posting about PS5s and stuff. It is what it is, man. Like, I get it. People my age, still 40 years old, play video games. I just don't really have time for it, but it is what it is. It's a hobby. It's something to keep you home, keep you out of occupied. I just think it's, you could be doing other things too, right? You could be taking out business, opening businesses, making sure everything's correct. If all that's good, and you say all that's good, then more power to you. Play video games to your heart content. But posting it, and that's really, that's kind of kiddie shit to me. It's not no cool shit. So I like to see businesses. I like to see people posting businesses. I like to see people taking trips, seeing different parts of the world. That's the thing that gets me excited, right? And a shout out to everybody that's starting business. I see them all over the Instagram and Facebook. More power to you. But I'm just saying, I think living below your means, right? And these are all choices, man. People make a lot of choices, and they put themselves in a position like they want to show people how they live, and they want to live in these nice places when they barely can afford it, right? That's not the way to go, right? Struggle for a little bit, man. Live in somewhere that you don't want to live. Build up that, man. Hopefully that keeps you in an aggressive position to keep moving forward. Because now you're like, I don't want to live here any longer. But don't get out of it emotionally. A lot of people get out of it emotionally, like, I just can't do it here no more. This and that. Man, don't go off emotion, man. Go off logic, man. Listen, I'm gonna stay here for another 2 years. I'm gonna save up. Stick to your plan. Save up the money. Move out of there. That go by, and then again, this is what I'm saying. Most people say, oh, they want to buy a house. Why? Don't buy. If your house is not for you, house is a lot of maintenance. Go buy a condo. It's fine. At least you own something, right? Buy your car outright if you can. Whatever. Just try to do these things to keep more money in your pocket. That way you can make investment. When someone come along and say, listen, I got an apartment for sale, you can go buy it. Right? Somebody come along and they say they got a trip, whatever it is, you got cash to go do it and not put it on a credit card or something like that. So my whole point is living below your means is, cutting things that don't really mean too much. Like, people love, like, with their cars. To me, a car is just going back and forth to whatever place I need to get to. And I want it to be, safe, and I want it to, especially for my family. But at the end of the day, that's all it does. It's just a mobile to go back and forth. Right? Where I live is somewhere I lay my head at, right? I want it to be safe. I want it to be nice, and it will be, once you put money into it or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's what it is too. Most of the time I'm gone. I'm out of the country. Like, if it was last year, we'd be out of the country every other day. So, every other month. So, why am I gonna? And then you got more rooms than you got people, right? It's kind of like, I got 5 bedrooms and you only got 3 people living there. It's kind of like, why? Because you want to show people that you got it. That's silly, man. those rooms, every square foot of your house costs money, right? You could cut down, a room and save a couple $100, right? Or you know what I mean, or live in a different neighborhood just so you can be stacking money. If you already got the money and you already there, I'm not talking to you. If you there and you're in that level and you got money and you living good and still got money coming in and still being able to save and invest and all that, this ain't for you. You probably not even listening to my video. But I'm talking to people that's not there, and this is how you get there. You gotta live below your means. Stop doing, silly shit just off the whim. You know what I mean? Being impulsive. You ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. I don't endorse none of that. I don't prove nothing to nobody. I don't care what anybody thinks, to be honest with you. Only my family and my close friends. Other than that, I don't really care. I'm gonna live the way I need to live to be able to do these things, be able to invest, be able to go buy stock when they go on sale, be able to go invest in a new condo or something like that. And that's the way, I'm living. So if you don't, I think that's the way people need to be. Like, I don't really care what people think at the end of the day. So I just wanted to go through that. I hope I dropped some type of, clues or some type of things to help people, move forward. Just at the end of the day, like I said, don't worry about what people are doing. Worry about your pockets, and don't worry about what people think, right? Because at the end of the day, you gotta live your life. When the shit hits the fan and stuff gets tough, you gotta do that, right? You ain't gonna go ask now that you done been living so good for your whole life, right? You can't go ask for money. So it's like you can't. You just gotta live the way you want it, way you think you should live, not just the way people want you to live. Is what I'm trying to say. So, like I said, I'm trying to put up content every week. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Real Talk with Mo. CB Lifestyle and Apparel. Check us out: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also the Lil Mo Podcast. All right. So we'll see you on the next one. We're gonna get into some more good topics.